It's okay. Hello, good afternoon, London. Good afternoon, Munich in Germany. This is Dr. Patrick Singh, founder of Greatness University, and today I'm here to introduce you to Manuel Shipwood. Manuel is one of the co-authors of this newly released book, Let's Brown Change Our Lives, and he'll be sharing his story, sharing you with his story of change and how he can help you live your dreams. Good afternoon, Manuel. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Good afternoon. I'm great, thank you.
Great and grateful. So how is Munich?
I don't know. I'm currently in Hamburg in
Hamburg.
Germany. Yeah. But I guess they are well as well.
Great.
The
Lovely.
rainy day, it's London weather today here, so we're probably have the same weather now.
Oh, it's a bit sunny in London this morning and
There you go.
it's still sunny this afternoon. I don't think we'll have the rain you're predicting over there.
There you
So, yes. Oh, could you tell us about what you do?
Yeah, I'm a international coach and speaker nowadays, and I do everything what we call, conscious business nowadays. So I work on bringing a higher level of consciousness to humanity, but also into the business world, which is a great force to change the world, actually. And I do that in a variety of ways. So I was meditating now for 20 years, let's say, on a more or less regular, more or less daily basis. And I discovered in the age of 16 or 17 that gaining wisdom and rising consciousness is my purpose in a way, and I want to gain more wisdom and share that with others afterwards. So what I do today is first of all, I coach and teach business owners and executives and leaders, and now also other coaches and consultants in a dedicated program, especially for them, in everything that is conscious business. So doing your business in a more conscious way. And the part I wrote about in the book is rather about purpose. I think that is what connects us all. And I heard that from other participants of your live shows and other co-authors as well. What we see in conscious business is always that you start with purpose. You want that shift from profit first to purpose first, and you want to know, why am I doing that? Am I at the right place? And actually, that is what I started with. That topic is what I started with my whole coaching business. As I strongly believe that it makes sense that everybody's in the right place, fulfilling his or her purpose, bringing his or her talents and skills to the table, and combining that with the change they want to see in the world and the difference they want to make.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you very much for sharing your purpose. And definitely that's what the world wants, because sometimes we end up doing things because we're not thinking about them. We're not consciously conscious about what we are doing, our actions. So definitely what you do, I do believe, when it comes, for example, to business ethics, and I'm sure you help companies formulate their business ethics or live according to their ethos.
Right. Yeah. And it's right. I mean, I've seen, I had a media agency for 10 years and was an interim project manager for 10 years in the marketing industry. And that's an area of business where you see how people are treated in a way that I didn't feel right about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I seem to be losing you. And as you're saying, that people in businesses are not treated the way they should be treated. And some of those businesses, not just the treatment, but as well the pay that they give the people, and whether that relates to the amount of work they do. So business ethics is one of the most important things that every business should be thinking about, and asking the question, am I treating my employees the right way? or there's something that needs to change. But as well, the employer should be asking the same question: am I doing the right thing when I'm working for that person? So yes, Manuel, are you able to hear me? I seem to have lost you.
Can you hear and see me now?
Oh yes, you're back. Yes.
Okay.
As I was saying, that it's not just the people that we work.
I heard you. Yeah, I heard you.
Yes, it's not just the people we work for, but as we work as well, we need to be thinking about, are we doing the right thing? So raising conscious in terms of training for the employer and employees, that's very vital, that what we do.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, I do so much more. And the program I wrote about but we will talk about that later. I wrote in the book is more the Find Your Purpose program where I help. But I started with helping unhappy employees who left maybe a corporation job and discovered, okay, what am I doing here? Because I was in a similar situation, and I was asking myself once in the middle of a meeting, what the hell am I doing here? And and changed my life thanks to some motivational guys, including the amazing Les Brown. And that's what I want to help people with as well, to find their purpose in life, to put more meaning into their life, and to feel at the right place with what they bring into this world.
Thank you very much for sharing that and doing that great work. So coming to seeing you today, that is 23rd of June 2018, and I'm sure that things haven't always been like this. You haven't been like this. You have gone through a journey. You have struggled. You've lived some of the events which have challenged you, and in doing that, you've grown through those events. So could you share some of the struggles that you've gone through and have helped you grow and become the person you are today that is able to help others discover their purpose in the midst of the chaos of life events?
Well, I mean, there are several parts in my life that were about struggling, but also about growing as well. Well, first of all, I had a childhood that wasn't very pleasant, and with a lot of violence in there. And so at one day I decided, okay, how do I want to go on with this? If I go on with this life, I want to make it as meaningful as possible. And there was a time when I started meditating on a daily basis, and found that there's a way of seeing things differently, of putting meaning into what you're doing, in how you connect to other people in a very compassionate and conscious way. And well, as I mentioned already, I had a media and communications agency for about 10 years in Germany, and that was a great place to start, actually. It was a great place to become independent and everything, and it was fun for a while. But there was also a time when that all changed, and I saw that I didn't see the meaningful impact I had with my work. And I saw how, as I mentioned, how people are treated in this area. And I asked myself, is this the most valuable and is this the most meaningful thing I can do with my life, energy, and time? And the answer was pretty clear. And it took some while to digest that. But there was a day, actually, when I was in the middle of a meeting, and I thought by myself, what are you doing here? And I stood up and walked out the building, and I said, okay, I'm not going to do this anymore. So there's way more I can do for people. And that was a time when I decided to change my life. And well, I don't believe in these coincidences and accidents, but that was the time when I met or found an audiobook of Les Brown's assembled. It was an audiobook with what was a collection of his talks, and that was so amazing. I downloaded that audiobook to my mobile and I listened to it right away, but I also re-listened to it over and over again, and driving in the car, listen to that audiobook, sometimes having it in the morning, just put it on in the morning when I got up, just to prime myself for the day. And that was so motivating. And so I don't know. I mean, we talked to each other before, and you asked me what was the most powerful quote in that book, or in that audiobook, or in that speech of his speeches. And it was, at some point he really shouted, like, make a step, you know. And I was like, yeah, damn it, I've been making that step. And he asked a beautiful question. I had an interview yesterday. I was on the show with JB Crumb III. Will be on this podcast on July 18th, actually. And he asked me what was the most powerful quote of his book, because he's familiar with Les Brown's work as well. And I said this question, when Les asks, what would your life be like if you were courageous, if you live it courageously, you know, what would your life be like if you're courageous? And there was a question, you know, what would I do if I had double the courage I have currently, and double again and double again? So what would I do? And that really moved me.
So the courage to be who you are, because most people fail in life not because they don't know how, or they don't take a step. They don't become courageous enough to take action.
Right.
And I guess, as you and me believe, the ability to take action involves a certain level of risk. And most people don't want to risk. And that brings me to one of my favorite quotes as well from Les Brown. He says, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. If you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. If you cannot become your best, you cannot be happy. And if you can be happy, what else is there?
Exactly, yeah.
So I'm sure you, as well, as you went through the journey of living your courage, you took some risks, and those risks you're able to grow through them.
I think especially, you know, I'm working also with, as I mentioned, I do that in a variety of things. I started with that program, Find Your Purpose. You can still find that on findyourpurpose.today. And that's beautiful work where I help people, you know, finding their purpose, finding their meaning in life. And most of them, after going through that coaching program, start to be self-employed, because when they discover what they came here for, usually there isn't a job out there extremely, you know, specifically aligned to what they want to do. And so most of them become self-employed, but never have been self-employed. So I set up a new coaching program for them, starting as an entrepreneur for the very first time. And I see the same problems with all the entrepreneurs, actually, is that they don't have the courage. They want to do that. They know deep inside, they know what they have to do. They know what they came for. But there's fear, and that's first step is acknowledging that. I talked about consciousness. I work a lot with Buddhist teachings, etc. First step is being mindful with it, being conscious about it, being aware of the fear, and accepting that it is there, but going through anyways. And that's the important part. And I just can't suggest that. We have so many beautiful people here on your show, and I'm here as well. Take guidance, take yourself a mentor, a coach, whatever you want to call it. You need that outside perspective, someone who accompanies you while going through that fear and doing it anyway.
Yeah, thank you very much for that advice. And importantly, I have Stella Anne. Stella Anne is watching from, I believe, from New York, and she's saying courage comes from inner faith.
Yeah.
And I do believe the inner faith is, yes. How do you discover inner voice? Inner faith. At one point, you talked about meditation, the power of meditation. how can that help us to discover and develop the courage? Meditation, 20, 30 minutes a day of reflection.
Yeah. Well, first of all, as I mentioned, you become aware of what's really happening. You become aware of the present moment. You become aware of your own feelings and needs. And that includes the fear, if there is any. And you acknowledge that without judging. I think the most important part is not judging it. Okay, I'm not there yet. I should be, because that's what most of us, experience in a not that good way. That someone is judging us for not being where they think we should be. But discovering our true purpose through meditation, Eckhart Tolle puts it like, okay, if you find your inner purpose, which is being present, being conscious, the outer purpose will follow as well. But you need to start with yourself, and you need to start, let's call it meditation, where you accept maybe even being alone. You can meditate with others, of course, but being alone with yourself and accept the silence and accept to listen to your inner voice. Sometimes we don't want to hear that, but it's very precious to listen to your inner voice and to become calm and to have that connection again to yourself and to whatever you want to call it is around you, the universe, God, doesn't matter, spirit, consciousness, to have that connection again and to feel connected to your inner purpose and to everything around. That's a beautiful experience. And I see that. I mean, I know that because I'm doing it for 20 years, but I see it with clients as well who start meditating for just a few weeks or months. They become calm, they become relaxed, but also more creative and better connected to their intuition. And that's something everybody should try, and it's beautiful to see.
Thank you for sharing that treasure. Thank you for sharing that wisdom from the ancient people. They did, definitely. I've done a lot of reading about Hindu meditation and in Christianity as well. And that meditation allows us to connect with ourselves, because the kind of world we are living in at the moment is very fast-paced. We want it now. We want it quickly. We don't take the time to go within us and discover what I want today. How is it connected to who I am? How is it going to help me become a better person?
Right.
How am I going to kind from what I'm doing or what I want now? So the gap between who we are inside and what we do is day by day enlarging, and we're getting disconnected from ourselves. And the kind of work we do, which is helping people make that reconnection, connect again with their own selves, is very, very important.
Absolutely. And I think maybe I can just add that. And I think, the second important thing is what I talk about and what I teach about and coach about is, and how I live, is compassion, actually. And I think when we are conscious, then as a consequence, we are also compassionate with ourselves and compassionate with others. And I think that's a way where humanity should go today.
Wow, lovely. So how can we connect with you? How can you help us make that connection with ourselves? How can you help us find our purpose?
Well, you can connect to me, where the easiest would be here on Facebook, if you see the Facebook Live currently, or you, I guess I will be linked in the comments and somewhere, or you go to manuelshipwood.com. That's my website. That's the easiest way to connect to me and to see everything else there too. When we talk about purpose, and that's what I wrote about in the book, you can go directly to the landing page of the Find Your Purpose program. That is a group program, 10 weeks long, and that is at findyourpurpose.today instead of .com. It's .today, and I'll be happy having you there. But I do a lot of other things. So if you're a coach and you already know what you're going to do, and you're you think you found your purpose and you just have to go on and maybe level up your business or whatever it is currently challenging you, connect with me here on Facebook or on manuelshipwood.com. I have beautiful work to do for you as well.
Thank you very much for providing that service to coaches, speakers, business people, entrepreneurs, I guess students, anyone who is interested in finding their purpose.
Yeah, and personal development in general. Yeah.
Anyone who is interested in getting more from life.
Exactly. Yes.
And thank you very much for connecting today. Thank you very much for listening today. And just in case you've just joined us today, talking to Manuel Shipwood. Manuel is one of the co-authors of Les Brown Changed My Life. Les Brown Changed Our Lives. And this book came out earlier this week. If you're interested in getting it, just get it on Amazon or my website, patrickbsinger.com. And Manuel, how did it feel like becoming a co-author of this book?
Oh, that's a great gift. Actually, I'm very grateful that you're having me and that you offered me to be in that book. The funny thing is, some time ago, long before you reached out to me, I thought, well, this work of Les is, that's such a great work he's done and he's still doing. Somebody should write a book about him, not he himself, but somebody should write a book about him. It's so funny that someone stood up and said, yeah, I'm going to do that. It's great honor to be in there, actually. Yeah.
Thank you very much. And if you're interested in knowing more about Manuel, then get his copy of this book and you'll be able to read more about his story of courage and how he can help us find our purpose. Thank you very much. So, Manuel, just before we leave, what message would you like to leave to the viewers today? Your final message in 1 minute, for example.
Listen to your heart.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Listen to our heart. Yes.
Knows the answers.
Yes, let me start listening to my heart now. Thank you very much, and thank you for connecting. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for viewing. My name is Dr. Patrick Bsinger, founder of Greatness University, and I've been talking to Manuel Shipwood. Manuel is a life coach and business coach, and if you have anything that you want help with in life, in terms of finding your purpose and discovering your dream and creating your best life, connect to Manuel Shipwood at manuelshipwood.com. On there, he'll be able to help you and support you and take your life to the next level. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.